This is what I got from TopRank, 1992 Toyota Serra, although the correct pronunciation is Serra. We'll get into that, but I'm really glad you guys are here. I'm super excited for what I was able to pick up. Finding this car in this spec is not the easiest thing in the world, but shout out to Brian, Yaska, TopRank Japan. We were able to get it in black with manual transmission. That is the hard part, okay? Because they made about 15,500 of these from 1990 to 1995, Japan only release, but out of those 15,000, less than 10% were manual. With the SLSS sound system, which I'll get into that as well, you put those together, this is a very rare car. I'm so hyped to have it, and I'm excited that you guys are here as we walk through it to give you an idea of what it's gonna be like when I'm done with it, as we mod the car together. Subtle, tasteful, let's get into it. You guys, this is probably not what you guys were expecting. Everyone that commented on the other vlog, you were thinking CTR, ITR, the Beat, Stagia. A lot of people thought I picked up a 32, a 33, or a 34 Skyline. Every last one of those cars I love. But you know what? The Toyota right here has flown under the radar and still is to many people, to most people. Don't know what it is. There are so many things that make this thing cool, and no, not just the doors. I'm just saying thank you to you guys for being here as we go over this chassis together. I got it with a different set of wheels. No, it did not come with these. It did come with some really cool features that, although I would immediately change, like when you're picking up a rare Japanese car, I personally would want one that was bone stock, and I would have waited longer to get one, but there was something about this, the spec, black, gray interior, manual transmission with the SLSS sound system, which I will explain to you in a moment. And with those coming together, even though there were some mods to this, I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and make it happen. Even though it may not have been what I would do, some of these things give it a lot of character, and that's why I haven't changed them yet, because I'm gonna sort of enjoy them the way they are, the way the car came from Japan, while finding certain things to change. One of those things is the front end. You'll see in the front end, this bumper, it gives an extension. It pulls the vehicle forward, gives it like a nose or a chin that really helps make it less of a rounded bubble type car. And I really liked that effect, especially from the side profile view. It gives the car length and makes it look less mundane and rounded like a bubble. So for the people that have studied this car, you guys know about the SLSS. It's the Super Live Surround Sound, Super Live Sound System. And this speaker setup has a regular mode and a funky mode, which you can see here. The funky mode, it flips the speakers so that they send the sound backwards to hit the glass and swoop over to give like a reverb to the driver and the listener, almost like you're listening to live music inside of a stadium or a coliseum. Super cool, super random. You would just never expect that, but this was on a production car from 1990 to 1995. One of the things that makes this car stand out is the chassis, the shaping of it, right? You have the doors that everyone talks about, but the rear glass, and you have this rounded shape that on this particular build has a different type front bumper that we talked about, pulls it forward, gives it a little bit of length, but the rear bumper is stock, and you combine that with a period correct old school HKS exhaust, and you start to have just about the same type of feel that I feel like you would have had back then, the way I would have modded it in the 90s. So of course, the main thing that everyone talks about when they see it or have heard about is the doors. So I'm gonna open it up and we'll show you how this car in black with these doors and the rear hatch glass looks. It's one of the most quirky, fun parts about the car. Check it out. So like I mentioned earlier, typically all of us creatives, builders, we would want a blank canvas, we would want a stock car. But there's just something super weird and cool about the stuff that this guy did in Japan that has made me not immediately change it. The Lanza pedals, that's not weird, but let's look at this Momo steering wheel. Definitely not what I would do. The car has power steering and it turns wonderfully, but it is a go-kart type steering wheel, and he wrapped it in carbon fiber vinyl. That's just not gonna work, but it's funny and kind of cool right now. Definitely not keeping that. that. But the Defi gauges and the pod that he had made, it's got a nice rattle to it, so I need to, you know, adjust a couple things there, but you know, they're authentic Defis and it's placed in a really cool way. And then let's get to that shift boot. It's a super faded kind of Type R-ish looking boot, kind of sunk down. And instead of immediately changing it, I just sort of laughed and rocked with it, because obviously the snap-on extended shifter that he put is definitely not staying, but I couldn't change it immediately because it just has a lot of character, and I know that in Japan they like snap-on stuff. So there's some quality components, and I'm gonna keep some, and I'm gonna definitely change out others. You know, one of the things that everyone catches is the pattern. It's a very quintessential 90s pattern on these floor mats, and apparently, you know, they've gone for up to $1,000 or more, but I'm not gonna get rid of these at all. I love them. We're gonna definitely detail this interior and extract all the dirt that is sure to be there, but the car smells like the 90s. I don't know if anyone's gonna understand what I mean by that, but it really does. Like, legit came over from Japan, opened up everything, and it was like, that smells like 1992. So after cleaning everything, is it gonna change that? Probably, but that's cool. We're gonna clean up whatever exterior dirt is on there and get this to be back to as new as possible. There it is, you guys, episode 1, the intro. Shout out to Doghouse Garage for the hospitality of the new facility, and thank you guys for being here and watching. On the next episode, we're gonna go over electronics, the power plant, and so many more details. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you.